How do you charge what you are worth instead of charging just for the time you spend on your service? All that and more in this video, and I have some really awesome tips towards the end, so make sure to stick around. What's happening, filmmakers? It's George VK. Welcome to Filmmaker Secrets. So let's talk about value-based pricing versus time-based pricing. With time-based pricing, we typically think about what is our rate per specific period of time, right? Whether it's a day rate or an hourly rate, we know that if we charge X amount for the day, that means that if the client ever wants to scope creep, meaning that they add on more scope to the project, that way you know that you can charge them X amount for the added amount of work, which makes sense, right? If we do an hourly rate, then we know if we go over X amount of hours over the time that was agreed upon initially, then we can charge X amount to the client to compensate for the time that we had initially agreed upon, but if it went over. Okay, so that's time-based pricing. But when we talk about value-based pricing, that means that we are not charging for the time it takes us to complete a project. We charge a flat rate that is directly correlated to the value that we are bringing that client. Not the amount of time it takes us to complete that project, the value that we are bringing that client, the result that we can get that client. You know, I initially learned this from internet marketer Russell Brunson, and he talks about the result that everyone is looking for. Whenever you're hired to do anything, especially when we're hired to do a video, right, or any type of film, we're not getting hired by that client for the video. We are getting hired by that client for the result that we can get them with our service, with the video that we produce for them. So if you start thinking about it that way, where it's not the time I'm going to spend on a project, it's the amount of value, the result that I can actually bring this client, that is what I'm going to charge for that result. So we are pricing our service based on the value that we can bring, based on the result that we can get that client. So say, a video has the potential of bringing a restaurant chain, let's say $100,000 extra per year on top of what their revenue is right now. And that's very realistic, speaking of bigger restaurant chains. Even if you charged $10,000 for that video and it brought $100,000 of revenue over the course of a year, well, that's a 10x return on that business owner's investment of 10 grand. Even if you charged $50,000, if they have the result as, a correlation of your video brings in 100,000, that's a 2x return. And wouldn't you put in $1 to get $2 back? Sure, it's a gamble. Sure, it's a risk, but any business owner knows that taking risks is the only way to get the reward. It's the risk reward factor. So when we talk about time-based pricing, it's very limited. You only have a certain amount of time in the day, right? 8 of those hours, hopefully you're sleeping. And then if you have a full-time job besides your passion of videography and filmmaking, then take another 8 hours out of that, right? So 16 minus 8, then we only have 8 hours of free time, but we also have to eat and go to the bathroom and maybe relax every now and then. So then we're only really left with, give or take, 5-6 hours that we have to spend on our craft. And even if you have your full-time job, this is what you're doing, videography, filmmaking, you're still only left with about 14, 15 hours for the day if you take out the time to relax, eat, and sleep. So there's always going to be this glass ceiling that you hit with time-based pricing. You're always going to be limited to the amount of money that you can make for your work. There was an interesting quote that I saw from a Twitter post that went really viral, and it's from Davey Greenberg. It goes like this: if I do a job in 30 minutes, it's because I spent 10 years learning how to do that in 30 minutes. You owe me for the years, not the minutes. Let me read that again, just so it really sinks in. If I do a job in 30 minutes, it's because I spent 10 years learning how to do that in 30 minutes. You owe me for the years, not the minutes. So your experience, your years of hard work, grinding, failing, getting back up, doing it again, trying and trying, failing again, only to have to get back up on your feet and keep going, learning, perfecting your craft. This is what we do as filmmakers. We limit ourselves on the potential that we have to make an impact in the businesses, the brands, the other filmmakers that we work with. So if we switch our mindset to a more value-based pricing, and we position ourselves in that way that we are not pricing for the amount of time that we're going to spend on the project, we are pricing on the amount of value we can bring to the other party. If it's somebody that's hiring us, or if it's the audience that we want to consume our work, our content, our videos, our stories, we are valuing on the result that we can bring to the other side. So if you like that, then you are really going to love my free masterclass at filmmakersecrets.com/free. I go over this concept as well as many, many more, and I go really in depth. My backlight just went out. Okay, well, what are you going to do? Just keep going, right? filmmakersecrets.com/free. Head over there, get signed up, save your spot for the masterclass. It's happening really soon. I don't want you to miss out, but this is going to give you all the information you need in order to charge what you're worth and be able to spend less time working and more time actually creating things that you care about and that are creating impact in this world. So head over there right now, filmmakersecrets.com/free. There's going to be a link down below in the description. Make sure to save your spot. I'll see you over there.